What's going on, guys? First review on my channel. Let's see how rocky this goes. I'm so nervous. Random note, I'm shooting this on my iPhone, which is ironic because I have a lot of camera and audio equipment. But nonetheless, I like the way this looks. I'm going to actually do this handheld. I'm also going to give that a try. So I'm sorry if it's kind of crappy. But anyhow, moving along, we're looking at the mechanical figure from Toys Era, aka Cable from Deadpool 2. Hot Toys never gave us a Cable, but no worries because we have this one. Quick look at the box. It's a nice box. It's pretty standard, I guess. There's not a lot of flair to it. There's not a lot of texture or anything like that. But the artwork is nice. We have some mechanical parts from Cable, I guess. Maybe his arm, maybe his chest. And then you have the mechanical right there. And then we have Toys Era right there, the creators. And along the side, I guess we have artwork that looks futuristic. I don't know, X-Men maybe. We'll see. And that's really it as far as the box. Again, pretty straightforward. I'm going to take the sleeve off. There you go. As promised, the sleeve is off. And this is kind of a cool little touch. It's the bear from Cable's daughter. Kind of morbid, but who knows? Maybe it's a representation of the bear after he saves her. But if Cable was in there, I've already removed her. You would obviously see right through this and get a good look at Cable. So that's cool. I like that. Again, nothing fancy anywhere else in the box. Again, some more futuristic artwork. And then on the inside, I'm not going to bother taking the shell casing out. It's your standard shell casing. It's not very exciting, especially with no figure in there. So let's just jump ahead and look at the figure. And here he is, Cable, aka the Mechanical, whichever name you think sounds cooler. As you can tell, I've already put all his accessories on, or most of his accessories on. I'm not going to actually take his accessories off, but I will still give you a tour of those accessories. There's a reason I haven't taken them off, and that's because they're kind of a pain to put on, which I will explain. But here's a quick look at him. First impressions. It's really nice. It's super nice for a third-party company. I'm really impressed by this figure. There's a couple of things I don't like about it, which I'll go over, but we're gonna again talk about the accessories first. So the ones that aren't on him are right here. So you have your standard slew of hands. You have the Winter Soldier hands. Again, most of them are your typical hands you'll find in Hot Toys. You have a fist. You've got potentially a hand holding on to the gun barrel. And your sort of intense, grimacing action hand right there. And you have similar hands for his non-Winter Soldier arm. But they're the same. Again, you got your action hand. You got your fist hand. You have a relaxed hand. And then on him right now, you have his gun holding hand. You have one gun holding hand for all 4 guns that he comes with. Then you also have this bear right here. So he actually comes with 2 of these, which is nice. This is the clean, no daughter's blood on it version. So if you want Cable displayed after he saves his daughter, here you go. You got this one right here. Or if not, you can always just, I don't know, give this to your nephew or niece or little kid. Or you could actually put him on the Deadpool 2 shelf, which is what I'm going to do. On Cable himself, we have first one pistol right here. And then we actually have a second pistol, which is in a harness right here. I'm going to start with these pistols. Whoa, God, there it goes. All right, my bad. So these pistols are actually different. I like that. At first, I thought they were going to be the same, but they are, in fact, different. So I'm not 100% sure if that's movie accurate, but I'm going to guess it is, because why else give us 2 different pistols? Looking at this thing, oops, sorry, there's not a lot of paint detail per se, but the sculpt is very nice. Yeah, it's pretty clean for the most part. It's just your essential black gun, I guess. But this one right here does have a little bit more detail. There's a little bit more scuffing. It's like he uses that gun more often. So that's nice. And then you've got, whoa, where's his big gun? There it is. This is the gun that probably most people care about more. It's similar. There's not a lot of paint detail on the metal parts of the gun itself, but you can tell there's a lot of sculpting involved. It's very nice in hand. This gun looks great. On the wood, the barrel of the gun, it's a little bit more intricate. You can tell that it's wood. I'm sorry about this focus. That's the one downfall of an iPhone, I guess. Its focus isn't totally great. Anyway, but it looks like wood. It's all plastic. It's not metal at all. But no worries. I mean, I don't necessarily care about that. I don't know if you do, but so that's one side. You have your scope, you have your flashlight, and you have your grenade launcher right here. This actually came, oh, look at that, there's a hair right there. Gross. This gun actually came in 3 different parts. Essentially, now again, I'm holding my iPhone, so I'm sorry about this. I'm gonna pop this right off. Oh, if you can see that. Come on, buddy. Come on. All right, I tried. So these parts right here, the scope, the barrel right here, and then lastly, the magazine, it inserts, it slides in and inserts. So if you look at the magazine, now again, I might use a different lens when it comes to these little details because the bullets look really nice in there. That's a lot of great detail. So I'm very happy with this gun. Now, the other part is that this gun is also magnetic. So you can either have him holding it or, come on, cable focus. If you want, this thing will actually stick on the back. Now, let's see if I can get it. Ooh. The magnet isn't the strongest magnet, but once you find the spot, there you go, it will sit there. If you have them just displayed straight up, I haven't had a problem with this falling yet. So as you can see, I'm kind of messing with it and it stays put. So that's nice. I like that a lot. This is probably similar to how I will actually display it. So you also have the the raincoat. I was spacing the name of this. The little raincoat right here. There's not a lot of weight to it, but it does feel like the standard raincoat material. It's that sort of sheen plastic to it, and like a raincoat, or sorry, you know what, more like a, not a raincoat per se, but more of like a poncho. That's what I'm looking for, a poncho. A poncho doesn't have a lot of weight to it either, so it kind of has that vibe. I would probably prefer if it had a little bit of weight. Oh, it's my dog. Someone's home probably. Yep, sorry, that was someone at the door. My wife, she's home. That's nice because it snowed, so I guess she's safe. Anyway, like I was saying, I would like a little bit of weight just because of the way I would want to display this, but as you can see, I think it works really well. Once you play with it a little bit, you can find a way to fold it and get it into a good position. So actually, you know, I may not feel the need to have a custom poncho like I originally thought I would. This is pretty nice. Again, it's a standard poncho, so no complaints there. Okay, moving on. We've talked about the 2 guns so far. I talked about this holster here. Now, this holster, and you have a second one, which is right now attached right there. This one is actually the easiest one to take off, so I'm going to show you that. So there are clips on all these accessory bits that are attached to him, and they just have to clip on. So again, when I said it was kind of a pain to clip on, it's because these ones and this holster here, they all have 2 clips that kind of stacked on each other. This one actually, has 2 clips side by side, and you had to just get them to insert into these little spots right here. So it's not terrible. It's fine, but you know, I've been messing with this for a while, so I finally got to where I really like it. I decided I don't want to disturb it. But going back to the holster, this one and the other holster, I like a lot. This actually does have some nice detail to it. It looks it looks metal. It looks like it's hard, but this is actually, in fact, very soft, like pliable, kind of it's rubbery, but it's not thick. It feels very thin, but it does feel super durable. So that's actually a really nice touch because, again, you can, I felt like I could stick this on different spots and I wasn't too worried about breaking anything. Sometimes when these are really hard plastic, I have a tendency to think that I might snap it when I try too hard. So this is great. I can probably even stick this on without trying too hard. So this will slide right on the belt. Ah, look at that. So easy. I'm like a pro. Anyway, there is another holster. This one is actually more of like a leathery feel. This one was already attached to him, but you have another gun. This is like a futuristic, come on, shotgun. I gave it away. Spoiler alert. It's like a sawed-off shotgun. Yep, I'm not going to do handheld for too long. This one is probably, the big gun has a lot of nice little details to it, but this one, it feels like, maybe it has I guess it's similar. There's not a lot of paint detail, but again, the sculpt is really great. There's a little added threading right here. So, it's nice. They've stayed very movie accurate. This look that he has here is actually accurate to the promo photo that we kind of first saw. It's the one where he's sticking his finger up to his mouth and whispering. That is accurate to that, and so is sort of the holsters and everything. And he does have this carabiner that sticks right there. That's there throughout the movie. I love carabiners. I'm a big fan. Carabiners do a lot of things. I'm not sure what he was using that for. You could fill me in if I'm missing something. But anyway, for the rest of the movie, the bulk of it, he actually has more of a, almost like a bulletproof type vest. I don't think you see this very often. But again, in the promo photo, this is really accurate. So moving on, you have these magazines do not come out, but you have 3 magazines for his big gun. If there's a name for the big gun, let me know. I'm just calling it a big gun, but I'm sorry if there's actually a name. And then, so this is actually not even attached properly, I don't think. I'm gonna take that off. So there you can see 2 clips right there. So you have to just kind of match it and stick it in there. And then you've got 2 more magazines for his pistols. Again, same thing, clips right here. It'll go to his belt. These are more of a harder plastic, but they're still a little bit soft. Again, it's got sort of a leathery, rubbery feel to it. And then you also have these 3 grenades for his grenade launchers. They come independent, so they're not sculpted into this, so you can pull those out and stick them in there. So that's cool. Again, movie accurate. I'm glad that they did not skimp on any of these accessories. It makes sense. He came with a lot of stuff, or he had a lot of stuff in the movie, so he should have a lot of stuff. And then you've got his little time machine that he wears on his hand there. And this is essentially just a little band. And you can just slide on any of the hands that you want. And look at that. Again, really pretty. There's some depth even. There's a little paint detail on the inside. They could have, I feel like they almost could have gone away with just sort of, I don't know, doing just a painted look at the top, but I'm really happy that they went all out with the detail here. And then of course, so this is the bear that I would imagine that most people would put on him because it represents the cable that we had in 95, 98% of the movie, the one with his daughter's blood on it, which basically looks like dirt. No offense to his daughter, but she lives, so hey, that's awesome. And then his pants, it's I guess it's a nice fabric. I don't know how to describe it. It's not leather. It's not a weird material. It's kind of like just standard cargo pants. type material. So that said, I'm not going to do a lot of articulation, but he has full range of motion, which is great. I don't mean to point right here. I mean his knees specifically. Same with his upper body. I mean, it's just a t-shirt, so he can move all over the place. I did find when I first got this, when I tried to bend his elbows, these were really stiff. So at first, it felt like I was gonna snap it, but I didn't, thank God. But it definitely gave me a little bit of a worry at first. But again, it's all good. There isn't a whole lot of articulation in his boot. There's no pivot. It's just one sculpted piece. But look at the detail again. Like these laces are sculpted in, but they look like they're separate. And then even the paint on it, there's multiple tones of brown. Even the tread right here. It's really impressive. Super stoked for this. And then, of course, can't forget the arm. This arm looks amazing. I mean, I think they really took their time when they made this figure. Look at that thing, look at it. Looks super nice. The hands attach pretty easily, so I'm happy about that. Sometimes they can be a pain to take off. And then also we can see here, actually, the reason I'm kind of being a little bit careful is because I have something I'm going to do with this head sculpt. I'm going to move on to the head sculpt first. So, upon first glance, I would say this is a fine head sculpt. It looks like Josh Brolin to me. Yeah, like the hair looks fairly accurate in color. His face has the scarring right there. Again, if you look at him straight on or at first glance, that looks like Josh Brolin. That said, that is one of the issues I have with this figure, is when I look at it as a whole, his head, I think, is a little too big. It's a little disproportional. Even looking at, if I look at it up close, the dome of his head, I think it's a little big. And again, if you don't look at anything else and you look at this head sculpt, I think you'll be perfectly happy. But if you start comparing it, you'll notice that this head is just a little bit too big. So that said, I'm actually going to use a custom head sculpt from Jin Toy, which I have right here. So let's see if I can get there. There you go. This whole head sculpt to me is much more accurate in proportion. The profile looks a little bit better, so I'll give you a little comparison right now. So this cable actually almost looks like a younger cable. I know it seems weird because he's got gray hair, he's got scarring, he's gone through a lot, but he, especially in the profile, he almost looks younger to me compared to when I take this guy and put him next to it. So let's see if I can get a better view of that. There's his jawline is a little bit more distinct. He's got softer features. And then again, looking straight on, you're gonna see the difference in sort of the size of the head. It's funny enough, it's actually harder to tell on the camera, but in person, and if you were to take photos, this head on the left, the custom head, is much smaller. So when I stick this head on, it's gonna make the body look bigger to me. All that said, I have no problem with this head sculpt. Again, if this is the only one you have, because you have to obviously buy this, and this head sculpt right here, this is without an LED light up. It's $135. So it can be pricey, and it's if you're trying to budget what you buy, this figure is totally fine. I'm gonna pull this off. It's actually loose already. So this does come with an LED light, which is super nice, but that's the other thing that annoys me. So at the bottom here, it's a little bit hard to see, right there, if you can see, there's a switch, and it's a little bit hard to get to that switch. It's not you have to kind of get in there with something small, like a, I don't know, flathead screwdriver. You also have to unscrew these screws right here and pull this out. And the batteries don't come with the figure. So that's the thing I'm not too fond of. I didn't really care because, again, I don't plan on using this figure, or this head, sorry. But I feel like this should come with batteries. It does, there are instructions that tell you what batteries to get. But, I mean, if someone else got a figure with batteries, let me know. Because otherwise, I got screwed because I got no batteries. But again, I don't necessarily care because I'm going to use the other head sculpt. So I'm going to put them right next to each other. And you can see them side by side. There you go. See, I mean, you know, they all have, they have, oh God, this is weird. Got a bunch of Josh Brolin heads rolling around like a turd in the wind. So they have a lot of the same details. They all have the scarring. This is a little bit more accurate as well, the scarring. His scarring isn't quite, this looks like it's a fresh scar. It's still got the red, you know, like it's still healing. This one is healed, but it's, you know, it's just a straight up scar. If I recall correctly, in the movie, his scars were already healed. Excuse me, hand. And again, this one just looks a little bit more gruff, a little bit more like Josh Brolin. So that's why I'm gonna use that one. I won't go into too many details as far as this head sculpt is concerned, but I did have to customize it a little bit because the way the peg is, or there's actually two neck pegs in there. There's one, this is an adapter to have a second neck peg. So in order to use the Brolin head, I had to use this and attach it in there, and then I can stick the custom head right on there. So I'm gonna do that real quick here. All right, here he is with the custom head sculpt. Feel free to rewind it and look at the other one, but this looks a lot better to me now. Again, it looks more proportional to me. His body looks a little bit bulkier. So I found that this was a worthy addition, and it was worth the cost. I mean, the guy, Jin, he custom sculpts these, he paints them, he custom paints them himself. So, you know, he's got to get paid for his work. So I'm totally cool with spending $135 on this guy. So one other thing I didn't really mention just yet, but you kind of saw it already. This base here, it's a very large base. There's not much that's special about it except it says the mechanical. Other than that, it's a plastic black bland base. It's weird why, I don't know why it's quite so large. For most bases that are this large, there's at least motivation. It's a diorama, or there's some cool artwork or something like that. This one, I don't know if this is my first Toys Era figure, so I don't know if this is just a Toys Era base, but it's a little big, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to eventually change it out. So there's that. All right, I'm going to take this off for a moment and point out, well, first I'll give you a look. Here's what it looks like now without his poncho. He looks super badass. I mean, look at that. It's like he's gonna shoot without looking because he's so cool. So one thing I wanted to show you, now maybe I'm just being lazy. I don't really want to take off everything, but there is a custom, oh yeah, see, I dropped this head. That's one thing, don't drop these custom heads, you might chip it. But this body is custom in terms of it's sculpted. They sculpted all the metal machinery parts for Cable. It's phenomenal. God, come on, buddy. Let me see your shirt. Let me see underneath. All right. Well, again, I'm sorry if I'm not going to show this all to you. I'm just being lazy. I'm so busy adulting all the time, so I got to be quick with these reviews sometimes. But you could take off this shirt and you'll have all metal parts right around here. There are photos of that out there, so you can see that. But that's, again, for the price I paid, which was a little over $200, I feel like I got a lot of figure, a lot of accessories, a lot of detail. It's really great. So one more look at the whole thing right there. Pretty nice. All right, back together. Now I mentioned that this was kind of a pain in the ass to clip these in sometimes, and indeed it was when I tried to put this harness back in. In fact, I did actually break one of the clips, but you know what? I glued it back together. It's all good. So yeah, be careful when you start clipping these in. You have to, again, finesse it a little bit. It's kind of it can be kind of annoying, but once it's in there, no worries. So I gotta play with this. So as you can see now, you know, I just stuck the poncho on there. You can see how it's big. You know, if there was some weight to it, it would probably just it would just fall naturally, but it doesn't. So I had to mess with that a little bit. Overall, again, great figure. If you were a fan of Deadpool 2, if you're a fan of Cable or Josh Brolin, I would definitely recommend this figure. I had to have a Cable. I was sad that Hot Toys didn't make one, so I was very, very happy when I found out that Toys Era was doing it. And I'm even more happy that Jin made this custom head sculpt. Again, I'll support this head sculpt. If you get this one, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But this one was the one for me. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be making more of these. Again, I tend to get very busy, so I'll try to put them out when I can. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.